So the last video is pretty long, so grab your tea and let's get started on another episode. Welcome back to Threads of Time. My name is Zephania and this is my little place on the internet where I talk about what I've been crafting. I might talk about this since it hasn't been shown in a while. I have a few new followers, not too many though, but hello to anyone who's new or has stumbled upon this podcast. I speak about this a lot in my first few episodes, but it is a 1930s Art Deco pattern that I knit 2 years ago? I don't actually know. But the yarn is, so there's 3 colours, you can just see the other colour. They're all silk wool blends. So this is Fyberspates, this is Quince, and this one here is Knit Picks. The Fyberspates I think had the most silk content, and it is a lot more silky, where the Quince & Co Tern and the Knit Picks Gloss, I think it is, are a bit less and they're a much more dry composition, so they're not as soft and silky. It's been holding up pretty well. I wear it a fair bit because it's one of the full knits I wear that I don't think I have to wear any shaping garments underneath, because the 1930s is a much more softer and natural looking silhouette. Like if you look at Jean Harlow, for instance, she's very soft and was known to not wear any underwear. Well, allegedly. Who knows if some of these things are really true, but you can see that she had a very minimal approach to undergarments. The first I'm going to call finished is my partner's Marash. It's all sewn together, and I still have a few ends to weave in and I need to wash it, but he's tried it on, he's happy with it, and need to get some buttons, but I doubt he'll ever wear it closed, to be honest, so it's not a pressing issue. But look, the stripes match up pretty well. Yeah, so this was, the pattern calls for rowan felted tweed in the 4-ply version, I think, or the DK weight, I can't remember. And I used Jamiesons and Smiths, one of them, and just a similar but different colour. So I believe the original, I'll try and put a picture. I have put pictures if you've seen. This is the longest whip. I think it took me a year to knit it because I did not knit on it all at once. But yeah, I used the Jamieson 8-ply. I'll try and make a Ravelry page about it. But yeah, I used the 8-ply. I got gauge on a needle size down, I think. Which is pretty common for me. I think it requested a 4mm or something like that, so yeah, that's that. I'm really happy with it. It's really nice. Look, oh, look at it, look at it. I'm so happy it's done. I think think I might do some sewing for my partner at some point, maybe as his Christmas gift, because I don't think I can, I'm not emotionally ready to knit another jumper for him. I wonder if I have that other one or he took it with him. He wants the, I forget the name, 7. Why do I feel like it's called that? Let's have a look. Yeah, 7 by Hudson and West Co. So he really likes cable jumpers, and he definitely wants this one. But it's knit flat, and I think the next thing I knit for him, it has to be in the round. Oh, has to be. The anxiety of whether or not it will fit, although both his jumpers that I've knit have fit. The first one I knit, the neckline is super wide, but the chest and everything fits fine. So yeah, that's that. Finally done. On to the next partner project. He's very spoiled. I will talk about the test knits next. So onto whips. I'm knitting the Simply bralette, and you would have seen it in the last one as a little cast on noodle. Well, it was a bit more, it's like that much. But yeah, it's hard to show, but I think I have a few more rows to knit and then it's done. I just have to sew these straps at the back and do all the finishing. It was really fun to knit. I think I'm going to knit another one because my plan, genius idea, I have a lot more of this yarn, and I was originally going to knit a like puff sleeve jumper, the fine line sweater I believe it's called, but I think instead I might do the 2 of Wands wrap top with Florence knitting. She's a podcaster. I'm pretty sure her name is Florence. She has done long sleeves, so I think I'll do that wrap top with long sleeves. And then, you know, sometimes when you're wearing a wrap top you feel a bit boobly, so if I have this little bralette underneath the wrap top, they'll match, they'll be the same colour. It'll be really cute, I think. Nice, you know, sometimes you want to feel and look good at home but still be in your comfies. So that's that one. I'm not sure when the exact release date is, but we had until September 15th-ish to have it complete. Wait, is it September? August? Yeah. September-ish to complete. So there's that. The other project that you saw last time that's still a whip is this Tarndie 1940s one. I think I'm 2 decreases away from doing the shoulder shaping, and I'm ready to be done. I still have the sleeves to go. My plan is that I'm probably going to just grab the ball. I'm probably going to, I have 2 more balls of this Tarndie. I'm gonna grab one of the other ones and do the sleeves at 2 at a time, so that it doesn't feel like it's taking so long. I might stop that when I get to the top of this sleeve is lace, so I might stop doing it 2 at a time when we get there, but I'm ready to be done with this project. As I said in the last episode, I just really struggle with doing the chart. I think in future I might actually, because I use the Knit Companion app on my phone, and you know, your phone goes flat and then you don't have the instructions in front of you. And I mean, finally, after completing the front, the back, and almost the other, like left front, almost finished the right front, I can look at it and be like, I kind of know what is up next in terms of the pattern, but I'm not very good at understanding lace in terms of like when you have to do the yarn over, when you have to knit the two together and things like that. So definitely think for any more complicated 1940s patterns that I have bought digitally, I will be printing out a copy, because that way I don't have to rely on my phone. That's done. The other project that we saw in the last one, I'll just finish this row because of course I'm in the middle of a row. Oh, complete tangent, but one of the reasons I like knitting my partner jumpers is because when you get to a certain point, it's like a lap blanket and it's so warm and toasty. Benefits, especially because all of his projects have been in more rustic wools, so they are a lot warmer than the 4-ply not rustic wools that I use. They just hold in so much warmth on your lap. It's very pleasant. I haven't purchased the Bendigo Woolen Mills. They have a limited edition line called Rustic, and they have his favourite colour, which is kind of a green like this. You can't really see it, it's dark. So yeah, I think I might buy a couple of balls of that. Maybe enough for 2 jumpers, because that colour really is his favourite, and I try to knit things in colours that he would wear. So I'll focus now. I wonder if I can fast forward this bit. Don't think my editing skills are that good. I had an ant on my forehead. How did that even get up there? No wonder I felt that thing. We have a small ant problem because this old house, none of the doors, they all have like caps. So I need to get some ant rid of some kind to get rid of them. Okay, done. This is the stripy 1953 summer top. This is the back. I'm up to the, so this type of top you don't knit sleeves, you just cast on a couple of stitches. So I did that, so I'm knitting the sleeve portion, and then I will be onto the other side. So I haven't done the, it's a button up, and I have not sewn that left side. Yes, the left side. I haven't sewn the left side yet. So I did take this, I did spill coffee on this just here, so hopefully that comes out. I did take this with me when I went to Spotlight because I wanted to try and match either the stripe colour or this kind of like purpley grey colour, but there wasn't anything that I would have liked. So I think I'll probably just pair it with like black or white, since it's such a unique colour. Wow, is that all? That is all the projects. That is all of them at the moment. I guess, as I said in the last one, I have had a few acquisitions in my stash. This is some of them. I have to take a good thumbnail picture. Like this, maybe, like this, like this. So I always go to the Coburg yarn market, which is earlier in the year, and there I picked up some more Tarndie. So I got this, they've been doing some hand dyed colours. So here's a like pinky mauvey colour. You can tell that I like this colour. And I also bought some white because I have 2 skeins of white mohair to knit the Antiquity blouse by Fable Knitwear, which I have knit, and then I failed to dye it black. I think I've spoken about this in previous episodes, so I'm going to try again with this white yarn and do take a 2. It was actually a very quick knit doing the body portion. Obviously I hadn't knit the sleeves yet, but yes, that's that. I also, I don't know, I was in Big W at some point and I saw that they had this Shepherd Pure Baby 4-ply, 70% cotton, 30% wool, which I believe from memory is the same composition of the Knitting for Olive Cotton Merino, which you can get in Australia from the website Yarn & Co. I haven't got any of it, so take this with a grain of salt, but I think it's very similar. This one, I don't know if it's made in Australia, but it is an Australian yarn, and you can get, I think the cheapest I've seen this online is for about $7 for 50 grams. And then the Knitting for Olive, I think, is like $14. So I haven't worked with this, so I don't know what the quality is going to be like. I think I might knit, I don't know the pattern name, but it's like a little tank top with a ribbing. I'll add a doobly-doo. But yeah, this is a pretty colour. It is colour 4506. They have a few colours. It's not just in these kind of baby knit colours. There's a like bright red. There's obviously like some blues and navy, but yeah, this one is very much my skin tone, but I think I'll knit a tank top with this. I have been thinking about my summer knits, so maybe I'll talk about that in a minute. So my friend lives right close to Sunspun, which is a yarn store in the Canterbury area of Melbourne, and so Every time I visit him, I pick up something. I'm so terrible. The first time I picked up this Highland Merino from Isager? Wow. You know, like when you say a word in your head and you say it well, and then you say it out loud and you're like, I just butchered that so bad. That's how I felt just then. I think I got 4 balls of this. The color is ice blue. It's like this nice kind of like mild blue with lots of different colors in it. But I couldn't get gauge with anything that I liked. Like I couldn't get gauge for like any of my knitting patterns, which is the vintage ones, which is what I planned it for. So next time I went, I bought their silk mohair in color 41, which I think is a little bit darker. I'll have to swatch to see if they go together, but I thought I might do this and knit another Beauty School pullover by Poison Girls. Oh, my hair. Although I did swatch this with some black mohair, and I think I was getting just 8 stitches per inch, maybe like 7.5. So maybe I could do a vintage one. So I've got plans. But yeah, I really like this kind of blue. It's kind of like dusty egg blue, I guess you could say. And then the next time I went, I picked up, I really like Isager. I should learn how to say it properly because I like their yarns. This is their sock yarn, which I'll speak more on in a minute. And then I got some of this Le Biche Bouche Petite Mohair to pair with it to do another one of these Simply bralettes. I have plans, lots of plans. But yeah, so this sock yarn is very similar to this vintage Woolworths Economy. I'll show you the little tag, see if it'll focus. There it is. Which I got off eBay because I have a Woolworths Economy knitting book. Although this one does not have this as a suggested yarn, but it could be because it's an Australian printed version. So it could be that obviously Woolworths is a British, why do I think British? It's not an Australian company originally, so. And I do have some other patterns that like digitally I've bought off Etsy that are Woolworths Economy, so I could probably find one that would fit. I'm still undecided. I got 10 skeins of this. They are 25 grams, well 1 ounce, which is like 28 grams. But yeah, so I think it's just a pretty blue, isn't it? This is not all of them, but they're so small because they're only little. So if you're into vintage knitting and you come across this video, I definitely would love some suggestions, or if you have any patterns that use this Woolworths Economy 4-ply. But what I was going to say is that I've always heard that vintage 4-ply is thicker than our standard 4-ply. And obviously there's so much range within the 4-ply, it's very difficult, like some are fatter than others. But this sock yarn is, it won't show, but the like strand to strand, very similar. Another one that's very similar is like that typical, I don't know what this one is, I have to look it up, like that typical sock yarn. So these are from Louie and Lola. There was some limited edition ones. It's probably merino sock, that's probably what I would have gotten. But I do have a BFL sock that is also very similar to this, so I'll be curious to see, because I'll have to swatch, how the swatch reacts once it's been blocked. But I truly think these would probably act similar, because this is a merino alpaca nylon blend. So yeah, if you're looking for a vintage yarn substitute, this could be an option. But yeah, a lot of vintage yarns are very much thinner, because they're normally 3-ply, you see 2-ply a lot. So, and you can kind of see the difference. Like this is a modern 4-ply, and it's not as tightly spun, where this you can kind of see is a lot more like a sock yarn, like that really tight spin. So yeah, even this cotton merino looks more similar in strand than some 4-plies that I've had. So yeah, I think I'm in 2 vintage knitting groups. There's the Vintage Knitting Pattern Library, which is really great if you are interested in knitting from vintage patterns. They upload patterns outside of copyright. And then there's Vintage Knitting Pattern Society, Vintage Knitting Society, something like that. Then I might ask, you know, does anyone have a later 40s pattern, or a suggestion, like do they have a pattern in their collection that uses the Woolworths Economy 4-ply, because I think it would be really fun to use a pattern that actually calls for this yarn. So definitely be asking around for that. Let's all take a sit. I have to look up how to silence out my sips. On a previous video, but I'll have to Google it again. I have been stalking eBay for knitting patterns. Specifically, I really like there's a few, I think we cut out. I really like for 40s, I really enjoy the Sun Glow knitting books. So this Sun Glow was an Australian mill. Here is some more of their pretty patterns. So I have a few, and I got some more from eBay. This one's cute, this one on the back. This one. In the knitting pattern library, they have some Sun Glow in there as well. But look at this. So this would be what they call a blanket wool, which is about a 10 or a 12 ply modern yarns, illustrated on front cover. 10 skeins or 8 skeins for short sleeve in sunbeam or Wilga blanket wool. shade 2318 Wood Green. But yeah, the tension is 4 stitches to 1 inch, so about a 12 ply. I've got this very cute, I've never had a Paragon, and it's just a 1 pattern leaflet. Look at these ones on the back that they're advertising though. Look at that. So this one is probably more a 30s. A lot of these publications don't actually have the date on them. So, published and distributed by New Zealand Transfer Co. Wellington. So maybe Paragon is a New Zealand company? I don't know, I'll have to look into it. I also got this, I've never seen a sun glow from, this would be very late 40s or potentially early 50s. You can see she's got the shorter hair. It's like that transitional from, it's probably after New Look by the looks of it. I wonder if they have any advertisements. Sometimes you can get the date by like they're advertising something that is dated in there. Doesn't look like it. I wonder. Published with all rights reserved with F.W. Hughes, which is another Australian knitting pattern that I like to collect. Maybe they merged. And that's why you don't really see any 40s ones, like late 40s, early 50s. Because I've never seen a sun glow from like say 1956. I've only ever seen them more in this 40s styling. That's very interesting. The other Australian knitting pattern book that I really like is the Twin Proofread / Hughes, blah, blah, blah. These are the same company, kind of. So yeah, I really like these. I have a few that are from the 50s. So this one actually has an ad in it. It says send in this, like fill in this coupon for the styling book guide for 1958, and this is book 225. So this is 119, 208, 190, so they must be maybe a year or so earlier. But yeah, I really like this styling. The other one that I really like is the Villa wool, and they just have such like very 50s sweater girl vibe to them. So, you know, more of a, I guess, rockabilly vibe if you wanted to say, but like these girls really remind me of Elizabeth Taylor, especially that striped one, because here she is in a black and white version. She just is giving me Elizabeth Taylor vibes. So they have a much more sexy vibe, I guess you could say. It's just different. Like when you've been collecting them for a while, you just kind of know. It's like Peyton's 50s ones are a bit more matronly, whatever that means. It's like, and then the Sun Glow, I really pictured them in the 40s because a lot of their designs are more 40s. But yeah, I really enjoy finding Australian specific designs because, you know, what was our fashion like? You know, not everyone, like, you wouldn't say French fashion from the 50s is the same as American fashion in the 50s. So what was Australian fashion in the 50s? I'm really curious about, you know, those little nuanced details that most people don't know about because it's just glossed over. So yeah. I wonder how long this is going for. Who knows? Cold now. I did wind up these to sew, so I'm thinking that the next lot of cast-ons that I do will be for summer. So I really want to do camisole number 5 in maybe both, like one in this, one in this. I only have 100 grams and this is probably like 400 yards, I can't remember. So my plan is to knit to the underarm and then do all the detailing and then knit until there's nothing left, basically. And then I said what I want to do with this one. I might swatch for this soon. I think once I finish my test knit, I'm going to let myself, well, I could do it anyway, cast on a new project. So maybe something new in the next episode. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching for this long. If you have any questions about anything I've knit, then definitely leave a comment down below. If you're in the southern hemisphere, what are you, we're a bit early, but are you thinking about summer knits yet? All it is on the internet at the moment is Halloween stuff, which I joked to my friend that it was America's first Christmas. So yeah, they're all fall and autumn getting ready, and I'm just here wanting warm weather, basically. So yeah, tell me what you plan on knitting this summer, if you're preparing for it now or if you're going to be knitting your summer knits in summer. I'm trying to get into the habit of actually knitting for the season ahead. So, you know, planning and picking out things in, say, like spring, which we're almost there, for summer, so like they're ready to be worn. Because controversial, it doesn't really get warm until after Christmas where I am. I'm a lizard person and I really like the warm, so I don't think 25 degrees is hot. It probably helps them. It's much more of a dry heat here in Australia, so it's not as oppressive as well, below the tropical line, because like Darwin and Cairns are very wet, warm, where down here in Melbourne we're a much more dry climate, so it's more of a dry summer. But yeah, let me know if you're planning on anything, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.